On June 1st, 1984, a military operation was conducted by Indian Army, which was to flush Sikh militants from Golden Temple. It was one of the most controversial decisions in Indian history, and over 80 soldiers and close to 500 civilians were killed in this operation. This operation has fully triggered a movement what is today called as Khalistan movement. Months after this incident, then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was assassinated by two of her Sikh bodyguards. It was not a coincidence that she was killed by Sikh bodyguards. But why is Khalistan being talked right now? And why are India and Canada fighting over this? Why did Khalistan even start? And why is there a diplomatic war between India and Canada? And what does it mean for Indians staying in Canada and Indians who want to go to Canada for their studies? Let's find out. First things first, the word Khalistan is derived from Khalis, which means pure or unattained. Stan means place. Thus, Khalistan translates to land of pure. The story begins in the year 1929 when Motilal Nehru, the father of India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who introduced Purna Swaraj, which means complete independence, in the Lahore session. This declaration has marked a shift towards demanding full independence as an ultimate goal. Now, this was majorly opposed by three groups: Muhammad Ali Jinnah for Muslims, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar for Dalits, Master Tara Singh for Akali Dal for Sikhs. Now, why did they oppose a fully independent India? Jinnah feared that independent India would lead to majority Hindu rule and leading to marginalizing Muslims. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar worried that the Dalits would still be oppressed by upper caste of independent India. Master Tara Singh feared that the Sikh identity and rights would be suppressed under Hindu majority state. Eventually, only Jinnah was able to form a separate country called Pakistan, while Dr. Ambedkar ultimately worked with India to secure rights for Dalits. But Sikhs were in disadvantage because their whole population was under 2%. And because they had all the fragmented movements, even though they wanted autonomy, they were not granted a separate country. But in 1956, State Reorganization Act was introduced, which has led to formation of Andhra Pradesh as a separate state, solely on basis of language. This act raised protests again. The state of Punjab, which was left in India, was reorganized into Haryana, which was Hindi-speaking majority state, Himachal Pradesh, which was hilly regions of Punjab. Chandigarh, which was previously capital of Punjab, was made a union territory and it became shared capital of both Haryana and Punjab. But still, pro-Khalistanis wanted a separate state and did not want to be in independent India. The main trigger came in 1980s because of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, a Sikh preacher and leader of Dami Taksal. Initially, he focused on preserving Sikh values and reforming religious practices. But however, over time, he became a symbol of Sikh militancy and resistance towards Indian state. Bhindranwale became increasingly radical and he began to attract followers who were frustrated because of unfulfilled promises of autonomy. By early 1980s, Bhindranwale has taken refuge in Golden Temple, turning it into a fortress of militants. He used the Golden Temple as a base for armed movement, opposing the Indian government, which he saw as a threat to Sikh interests. Because of this, the Indian Army, on the orders of then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, started an operation called Blue Star. This operation was launched to store peace in Golden Temple and to remove Bhindranwale and his followers from Golden Temple. He was killed during this operation and these killings further fueled Khalistan movement. This operation has changed the course of Indian politics. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was killed by her two Sikh bodyguards as a revenge on the damage that was done to Sikh community and Golden Temple. Immediately after her assassination, anti-Sikh riots took place. The riots were majorly targeted towards Sikh, particularly in Delhi, where mobs attacked Sikh homes, their businesses and gurudwaras. The violence has alleged involvement of political parties, especially the ruling Congress party. The motive behind riots were revenge against Indira Gandhi's death, leading to deaths of thousands of Sikhs. And this incident further deepened the mistrust between Sikh community and the Indian government. This has further fueled the Khalistani movement, demanding for a separate country for themselves, separate from independent India. Now, the present situation in India is the Khalistani movement has almost subsided in many parts of India. The Sikh population in India largely focuses on development and peace over separatism. Of course, there are some isolated incidents here and there, but largely the movement is subsided in India. But then, why are we still hearing about this movement? This is because of foreign countries' involvement. You see, many Sikhs are settled in US, UK and Canada. Especially in Canada, because 2% of Canadian population is Sikhs. The Sikh community is very powerful in Canada. They hold very diplomatic and political positions in Canadian government. Some groups that were founded in foreign lands still run pro-Khalistani movements, and one such group is called Sikhs for Justice, that is SFJ. In 2023, Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was a prominent Sikh separatist leader and was an outspoken advocate for Khalistani movement, was killed outside his Gurudwara in Canada. Now, this has triggered a diplomatic war between India and Canada. Now, why is there a diplomatic war between two countries? Let's see the arguments. India says that Canada is providing a safe place for Khalistani movements, for Khalistani separatists and extremists. India also argues that Canada has failed to stop Khalistani movements and especially a pro-Khalistani SFJ group, which openly promote the idea of Khalistan. India argues that Justin Trudeau's government, who largely rely on Sikh votes to be in power, India is accusing that he is playing vote bank politics by supporting pro-Khalistani Sikhs for his personal political gain. On Canada's side, Trudeau accused Indian government of violating sovereignty of Canadian government by allegedly planning the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Canadian officials have expressed their discontent India's non-cooperation in sharing the intelligence over this incident. Now, the allegations seem right for both sides. On Canada's side, it looks like India wants to shut pro-Khalistani movements across the world. So they wanted Hardeep Singh Nijjar out of the picture, and that story makes sense. And on India's side, accusing Justin Trudeau of playing a vote bank politics because Sikhs are a huge voter base for Trudeau's government. And if he says something against the Sikhs, he might not get the votes to keep his power. So he is taking a soft stance against the Khalistani movements that are happening in Canada. The story makes sense. Following all these allegations, Canada has expelled a senior Indian diplomat. And recently, on October 14, 2024, the diplomatic tensions between India and Canada have escalated. Further, that the both countries expelled 6 diplomats each. Canada says that these 6 diplomats are linked to the killings of Nijjar that happened in 2023. Trudeau's government, though they say that they have intelligence against Indian government that they were linked to the killing, they are refraining to submit those proofs that India is the reason behind the killing. With Canada being the top destination for students across the world, especially Sikh students from Punjab, these diplomatic rifts between India and Canada might have an impact on visa issuance for the students. With India also expelling 6 Canadian officials, the downsizing of the diplomats directly threaten the speed with which employment and student visas will be issued. This diplomatic rift has also impacted the trade between two countries, because these two countries do a lot of imports and exports in agriculture, technology, manufacturing, etc. Also, these tensions might also increase activism in the future. Pro-Khalistani groups in Canada might use this rift to their advantage to intensify their campaigns and framing India as a threat to Sikhs' identity. The tensions could further polarize Sikh community, deepening divisions for those supporting Khalistani movement and for those who want to integrate themselves in independent India. So we have to see further developments on this diplomatic rift. Let's hope the rift ends soon and normalcy is achieved between two countries. With that said, that's it from my side. I hope you understood the issue, the past, present and the future of this issue. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.